Hi everyone, how's everybody doing? I hope you're all having a good day thus far. Um, I'm reaching out to you to talk to you a little bit about your research assignment, the paper that I'm asking you to write. I've had some students sort of ask questions about the assignment, even and the stress that you're going over as this due date is coming in November about the assignment. And so I wanted to sort of talk about that a little bit with you and understanding that I get the stress that you're going through right now, and I fully get the idea that it's an intense paper, or it can be an intense paper, right? You see 15 pages and you see a mountain, right in front of you. And so I wanted you to understand a few things. One, that uh, my idea of handing you the paper early and assigning it early was so earlier in the semester so that you can have the most of the semester, if not the entire semester, available to you to be able to work on it, which is why I signed it early and not late. You've had the information for a while, and for the past couple of weeks, I kept on telling you to, hey, start working on it, start working on it. And I actually have had people that email me, talk to me about what their assignment is. Can they do this? Can they do that? And even had some people take their work to the writing center and having them take a second look at it. So I'm really happy that some of you have taken the approach of being a little bit proactive. I know some of you probably have it, and it's not due for a while, so I can understand why, especially if you have life, work, and other things that are going on or other classes. But one of the things that I wanted to do was, sort of shoot this video and just kind of update you, maybe let you know a little bit about what I'm looking for, to maybe ease your thoughts a little bit so you wouldn't be so stressed about, okay, what is he looking for? I know it talked a little bit about it in the assignment page, but maybe also me talking about it would kind of make it more relatable to you. So as you're moving forward and as you're choosing your active persuasion, understand that persuasion happens in a lot of different ways. Okay, it whether it be from a kid trying to get their parents to buy them a toy, whether it comes from you asking somebody out on a date, whether it comes from a beer commercial, whether it comes from a car commercial, whether it comes from the billboard, you know an ad in the paper or in a magazine, even the persuasive pop-up ads that pop up when you're reading an article and suddenly something pops up, that's persuasion. And so anytime that someone's trying to persuade you, sort of get you to do something that they want you to do, that's an act of persuasion. And it happens all around us. And the reality is, there's no wrong thing to choose as long as it's an act of persuasion, right? Um, be careful that you're not taking existing content and trying to change it into persuasion, because it's not going to work out as well for you, right? Start with persuasion, start with the act, and then let the research guide you to what you want to do. Don't try to take an existing content and say, oh, there's persuasion in that, let me use that. It's not going to work. Start anew with persuasion and work your way out with the information that you get from your analysis, from your critical thought, and obviously from the resources that you're going to need. The other thing that I wanted to sort of talk to you about was, um, you know, I want to make sure that you understand and that you contemplate the idea of what an analysis is, at least in my view, which is recognizing the why things happen. If you're going to spend half of your paper just telling me what happened, then it's no longer an analysis. It's a documentation of an event, right? And I don't want to see that. If I wanted to see what happened in a beer commercial, I would just watch the commercial. I don't necessarily need you to explain to me what happened. What I want to see is why it happened. So sure, you have to sort of give me the sort of the context of what's going on, but the bulk of your paper should not be that. The bulk of your paper should be answering the why questions. Why is this happening? Does this work? Why does it not work? Why are you choosing to persuade this person? Why not that person? Why are you choosing it to do it like this instead of like that? The whys are the ones that are going to guide your paper. And if you're able to ask those questions, then you're going to be able to break up your paper into a lot of different parts. And then you can work on those parts one at a time so that you don't feel that it's a big 15-page paper, but rather it's smaller 3 to 4 page papers that have been pushed together and it flows. Okay? So start asking yourself questions of why this is working. Why is this happening this way? Um, Why are you trying to persuade that person? What's the expected outcome? Why are you choosing that expected outcome? If something changed, would the outcome change? Why would it change? What does this change in the scenario or in the context or in the persuasive act? What would cause it to make this change? Right? Would there be a difference in changing a beer commercial, for example, into an animated commercial? How would that work? Um, we talk a lot about persuasion and sort of the ideas that go along behind it, but I really want you to start thinking about it from a very critical point of view and actually start sharing that information from a very academic point of view. The idea of an analysis is to sort of bring about new knowledge and new ideas, and really to get the idea that you understand the ideas that you're learning so that you can recognize persuasion, so that A, you won't be persuaded without your knowledge, and then the other idea is that is it done for moral ways, moral thoughts, and within your values? And so hopefully you can take some of what you're learning today and actually use them in real life and in other aspects in everything that you do. Because believe it or not, whether you're choosing to be a marketing representative or not, persuasion happens everywhere, right? When you go get a job, when you go to a job interview, you have to persuade that hiring manager that you're the person for the job. That's what persuasion is, right? Persuasion isn't just an ad you see on a billboard. Persuasion is me trying to persuade you to do something that you may not feel like you want to do right now. This is an act of persuasion, trying to give you the ideas to motivate you so that you can get your paper done on time, right? That's an act of persuasion. And we see that happening all the time. And so I really want you to sort of start getting the ideas that an act of persuasion happens in a lot of different places. And you can actually choose whatever act of persuasion you want as long as it starts with persuasion. So the next question that people have is, well, can I ask the why questions to every single topic? The answer is yes and no. You can ask that question, but it necessarily may not have the same effect with one brand or one product versus another brand or another product. Every product, every brand is different. You look at the way they shoot beer commercials versus the way they shoot Coke commercials. There'll be some similarities, but there'll also be some differences. Look at the way that they shoot pharmaceutical commercials versus how they shoot commercials for, let's say, kids' toys. Are there main differences there? Yeah. Are there similarities? Yeah. So some questions you'll be able to ask and some questions you don't. Can you do a compare and contrast? Sure, you can do an active persuasion here and an active persuasion here and how they're the same and different. That's fine too. You can have a Coke commercial shooting two different types of commercials, and they're both, and really at the end of the day, they're trying to persuade you to buy Coke, but they're doing it in different ways. You could do that. I'm open to every single idea that you have as long as it makes sense and as long as it starts with the act of persuasion. Okay. Um, I also wanted to make sure that you also understood that I understand the stress that you're going for. That's why I didn't give you a midterm because I understood that, hey, you're already going to be stressed about writing this paper. Hopefully, you would have already started writing this paper. That I didn't want to put the additional stress upon you to have a midterm as well. That's why we're only going to have a final. But I also get the idea um, that you are going through stress, and I get that. And the one thing I want to make sure of is that if by watching this video, that you start on your paper now. Don't wait. Don't wait till the last minute. If you want some ideas, if you want some feedback, always shoot it out to me. I know I have one student who sent me their paper that they went to the writing center. I'm going to respond to them probably after this video to respond to that and see what they're going so far. But get started on it. Don't wait. Don't wait till like a week that it's due, and then all of a sudden you're just trying to figure something out. It's going to show. Yes, you gotta use at least 5 sources, but that's at least. On a paper this size, you probably may want to use more than 5 sources. The question is, well, how many sources do I need? As many as you need to get an A paper. I will tell you that an A paper using 5 sources, can it happen? Yeah, I'm sure it can. But would I expect to see an A paper have more than 5 sources? Yeah, definitely. Right? So if you're looking for the minimum that you need to do, and you're looking for the minimum number of pages and the minimum number of sources, yeah, you can meet the minimum, but the minimum isn't necessarily always a good score. So you always want to make sure you do a little bit more if the effort calls for it, right? Um, But with that being said, I also understand that some of you are going through a lot of stress. I actually had an email this morning from one of your colleagues that was fighting for you, and kudos to you. You know who you are, so I won't necessarily um, put your name out because I'm not sure if you want people to know. But kudos to you for reaching out and really fighting for your fellow classmates. And it has not gone unheard. Um, I actually talked to a colleague today about it, and I found out two things. But the first thing that I'll talk to you about is your paper. So currently, I have it um, 12 to 15 pages, right? So I'm gonna narrow that down to 9 to 10 pages. Okay? So you only have to do 9 to 10 pages. So you don't have to go all the way to 15. You can do about 9 to 10. So I cut your paper by a third. Okay, so hopefully, you know, the person who reached out to me, you should be thanking that person. Um, Secondly, I found out about the e-portfolio, and it turns out, as I'm getting this knowledge in, that really the only people that need to turn this in on it's called Portfolium is the management system that handles it. It are the com majors. So com majors, you'll be the only ones that need to submit it, and then the only ones that will need to then send me the link, and then I grade it. You know, I click on the link, it takes me to your paper, then I could see it, and then I'll grade it there. For those who are non-majors, you don't have to do that. You could just submit it on Blackboard and on a document, on a Word or a PDF document, and you can just submit it there. For you com majors, let me be clear. You com majors, you need to submit it on the Portfolium site and then send me the link. Put the link on a Word document and then submit the Word document, and then I'll click on it when I open it up. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. I'm told there's a way to do that, and I'm unfamiliar with it, and I'm trying to find more information specifically on that. But if you want to take the step forward and get your own research on that, please do so. Right now, I'm just trying to get the information as best I can. Um, so make sure you do that. So non-majors, non-com majors, just upload the document. Com majors, submit it to Portfolio, and then give me the link to to your document so that I could grade it. If I don't get the link, it's not going to be graded. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't submit it on Portfolio and you just submit the paper, I'm not going to grade it. It has to go on Portfolio for me to grade it. I will just give you a 0, all right? And yeah, you did the paper, but I need to see that it's loaded onto the to Portfolio, because that's required from the department. So I'm just giving you notice about that here and now. So those are the two things that I wanted to sort of share with you, along with some of the ideas about the paper that are coming along. It's like I shortened it to 9 to 10 pages, and the sources are still the same. And yes, you still got to record a 3 to 4 minute um, uh, how do you say presentation on your paper, on what you wrote, and just really just summarizing what your paper was about, what you found out. You know, give me things like why you chose that topic, um, what happened, what did you find out, why it happened, what was the knowledge that you gained from doing that. And really, it's just taking your paper and summarizing it to 3 to 4 minutes. So that's going to stay the same. And what you're going to do is you're going to put a link, another link, you're going to upload it to YouTube, and then you're going to give me the link to your YouTube and put the link on the paper, and then I can click on that as well to see your YouTube presentation. Okay? Do not upload the video directly to Blackboard. Blackboard has a lot of good things, but it has a lot of bad things. And one of the bad things about Blackboard is that it's really hard to view videos on Blackboard. So do not upload your documents straight. I mean your video straight to Blackboard. Put it up to YouTube. Get the link. Set it as unlisted. Do not make it private. Set it as unlisted. I will view it. I will put the link, put it on your paper, and then when I open up your paper, I will click on it, and then I will view your video. For those who are putting the link to your portfolio, also put the link to your portfolio and then the link to your YouTube video so that I can watch both. So I could watch the video and then read your paper. Um, and I think that's it. You're always welcome to reach out to me. I think what this will do is this will substitute the Zoom meeting. I know that it's very difficult for us to meet. The last time we met, there wasn't a lot of us there, but I also want to make sure that all of you have this information. So I think recording this would be of a good idea because you always go back to it and look at it and maybe answer some of your questions that you may have. And hopefully maybe just kind of, ease some of that stress. If I was to give you advice right now, it would be choose your topic and then start doing your research and then start asking the questions, the what, the who, the why, so forth and so on. And then divide your paper up into segments. And then rather than thinking about writing a whole paper, answer the what, write that. Then answer the why, write that. And before you know it, instead of writing a 9 to 10 page paper, you're writing smaller papers that you just put together. So that if that was going to be one piece of advice, that's probably one of the things I would do is I would break it down to smaller pieces. So instead of thinking you got to write a 9 page paper, say you got to write this week, I got to write a 2.5 page paper, and then you link it up to the next one and the next one, and hopefully by the time that finishes, you're a lot closer. But I definitely would not recommend waiting until that last week or even the last day to submit it, unless you have a documented emergency that prevented you from turning it in by the due date. It's not going to get extended, right? You know now what you have to do. If you didn't know 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, a month ago, you know now. So if the question is, oh, I can't submit it because I don't have internet. The question I'm asked is, didn't you have internet last week, or what about a couple of days before? It's like you can't just come up with the reasons why you can't do something, because I'm going to ask questions as to why you could have done something. So keep that in mind. I'm very amiable to help you when I need to, but I'm also very strict about deadlines and the things that you have to do in order to make things work. What else? I think that's pretty much it. You're always welcome to reach out to me. I welcome any ideas that you may have, as is evident from the change that I made. And it really just came from an email this morning from a student who was just asking for some assistance, and you got some assistance. I reduced your paper by a third. Um, and if you ever wanted to talk or have a live Zoom meetings, you're always welcome to see me. Oh, and one of the things I haven't done lately is told you a dad joke. So, dad joke. Um, um, I met a guy last week with a wooden leg named Smith. Um, his other leg was named Paul. Get it? Because I met him. See? All right. Anyways, all right. Well, if you have any questions, I'm right here. I hope you have a good week, and stay alert, stay sharp, start your work early. All right. Take care.